These are some of the bravest women in Russia, the wives and mothers of serving soldiers protesting against the Kremlin. Each Saturday they lay flowers at the tomb of the unknown soldier and call on President Putin to send their men home.
I simply no longer want my husband to give precious years of his life to the army of the Russian Federation, which, I'm sorry, will not take care of us after, and I don't want him to risk his life there. Enough.
Maria Andreeva has become the public face of the movement. Her husband was one of 300,000 men mobilised to fight in Ukraine and is there indefinitely.
This law, this decree, contradicts not only the Constitution, it contradicts federal legislation on military service in general, so it simply needs to be repealed.
Demonstrating against the war is risky. Around 20,000 protesters have been detained in Russia in the past 2 years. Politicians like Vladimir Kara-Murza and Ilya Yashin have been sentenced to long jail terms for speaking out against the conflict. Recently, journalists covering one of the women's protests were detained. Maria tried to stop them being taken away. She hasn't been arrested yet, but says there's pressure being placed on their husbands.
The fact is that the Defence Ministry considers it completely acceptable to threaten our guys so that we, the wives, shut up and don't show up, so that we don't rock the boat.
Boris Nadezhdin, the anti-war politician banned from running against President Putin, says these women pose a threat, particularly since their views on the war evolved.
In this time, year before, they said something like, Mr. Putin, we support you, we support special military operation, but just return our men and take some others. Now the situation is quite different. This woman is absolutely against Putin and against special military operation.
Maria says they will continue to protest despite the risks.
I understand that my husband's life is much more important to me.
A brave move in a country where dissent is brutally crushed. Steve Kinane, ABC News.